So keep on going with your silly dream by Piter on AO3. Read by Lily6645. This fic may include suicidal thoughts. That is your warning. Chapter 41. The Crossover Event. Summary. Crusty Mall Trip. Hey, Deku! Shinso! Over here! Uraraka calls out as she waves. Beside her was Todoroki, beanie obscuring the recognizable split of his hair. He stared impassively as usual, yet he seemed lighter somehow. Izuku was glad he seemed a little happier. A taller, blue-haired teen with rectangular glasses held up a hand, fingers stiff, meant to be a wave. Ida, maybe? So the other girl, dark green hair, wide eyes and mouth, and a tongue peeking out, must be Sue. Izuku had so many questions, but those could wait. For now, he just needed to be normal and chill. Easy. Oh, hey, Uraraka! He waved awkwardly, accidentally smacking Shinso in the face. He stuttered apologies, but the teen just waved him off and pushed him forward, where the group was waiting. Izuku was gonna kill himself. Greetings, I'm Tenya Ida. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. Izuku shook the outstretched hand with his own shaking one. I'm Deku. I'm Tsuyu Asui, but you can call me Sue. Ribbit. Sue spoke up, giving a small wave. I'm Todoroki Shoto. Nice to meet all of you, Izuku blurted and hoped it didn't sound as awkward as it felt. So, where are we going first? There was a pause before Uraraka grinned. Let's go to the Hero merch shop. I heard new stuff came in. Imagine All Might's face if we walk in decked out in his gear. She laughed, and suddenly things weren't so awkward. She fell next to him and Shinso as they walked. Guys, Todoroki says to buy whatever you want. He's using his dad's credit card. His dad just lets him? Izuku asked in surprise, causing Shinso to snort. No. What? Then, how? The teen paused, thinking back to the sports festival. My father is a cruel man. Oh, I think I get it. Yep, shopping spree, Uraraka cheered, skipping to catch up with Sue. With a glance at Shinso to reassure him, they both push forward. Despite not going to their school or even having a quirk, he didn't feel like an outsider. It felt right to be there, laughing and surrounded by these people. His mom would be proud of him. He should tell her one day. Deku, look! Uraraka gasped, shaking his shoulders and pointing in front of them. To the side of the Hero merch store, there was a small vendor selling Yahoo merch. That was indeed his hoodie, his goggles, his pants. Hell, those were his shoes. Glancing around, he could see a few kids wearing his goggles. He felt his face go bright red. That is very irresponsible of them. Vigilantism is an illegal act. They shouldn't be promoting this behavior. Izuku tuned out as Ida continued, hand chopping back and forth. Izuku and Uraraka shared a brief look of amusement before following after Todoroki and Sue, who had already gone into the merch store. Shinso gave them a look, but didn't comment. Hopefully, it'd stay that way. One person knowing was bad enough, but two? Two hero students? No thank you. Izuku fidgeted with the many bags held in his arms. He was here with a whole group of people. Now he was alone. But that wasn't his fault. They all had to use the bathroom, so he offered to wait. So what if they were taking forever? They weren't leaving Izuku here. He bit his lip nervously, glancing at the swarms of people. Right? Oddly, though, his eyes kept straying to one. It was his bright red shoes that stuck out. So similar to Izuku's own, or maybe it was the way he sat, shoulders hunched, furrowed, and head tilted down, like he was ashamed just to be. He looked alone. He looked like Izuku had. Before the teen knew it, he was walking over. All the bags jostled each other as he walked, causing the man to straighten up and glare. Yikes. Should Izuku offer him some chapstick? Hey, I'm Deku, Izuku said cheerfully, sitting down next to the blue-haired man. What do you want, kid? He snapped, not even giving the teen a glance. I don't know. I just wanted to talk to you. Izuku shrugged. You looked lonely. It was silent before the man grumbled. Don't you have friends to bother? They're using the bathroom. You'd think they'd be faster as heroes in training. Heroes in training? Maybe Izuku shouldn't have said that. Yes? An awkward silence hung, and Izuku wondered why he put himself in this type of situation. Maybe he was a little suicidal after all. Did you come with any friends? No. Okay. Well, have you done any shopping? No. Yeah, I haven't either, really. They say it's fine, but I'd really rather not use someone else's money. You know, even if I don't like him, I just been the bag carrier. Izuku laughed. The man next to him seemed to be ignoring him. So what if the guy couldn't hold a conversation? It beats having to stand in the food court looking like a loser. What's your name? Tomura. Oh, cool. Izuku sighed. His friends, as in plural, still nowhere to be seen. You looked sad, you know? He muttered. For the first time, the man gave him an incredulous look. Izuku simply chose to ignore it. Lonely. I have friends, Tomura defended immediately, eyes trained to Izuku in irritation. I didn't say you didn't, but I know what it's like to be lonely. But it gets better, even if it seems like it doesn't. Izuku smiled at the guy. All he received was a grunt. And so Izuku continued. Really, I saw you and you just looked like you needed help. Not in a rude way. I walked over without thinking. I'm sorry if this is weird. I keep making things worse. There was a pause before Tomura actually laughed. Izuku wasn't sure he liked the sound, or the dangerous smile that came with it, barely peeking from the black hoodie.
Oh, really? Just because I'm not smiling like the rest of these ignorant sheep?
That's a bit harsh, Izuku muttered, but that isn't why. It was just, I don't know, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Over the crowd, he spotted Ida coming closer.
Those are the kids from UA, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Izuku grinned. Progress was progress.
Why are you with them?
The tone was bitter, like Tomura had swallowed a lemon. Awkward. The teen paused, unsure how to answer. Well, I like them, and they're nice to me. I know they'll support me no matter what I choose to do.
Interesting.
Would your friends support you? Deku, there you are. Oh, hey guys. Izuku grinned, turning back to find no one. He was alone on the bench. He saw the hooded man walking away, weaving through the crowds. Who was that with you? Uraka came up next to his stiff form. Oh, I'm not exactly sure. He looked kind of lonely, so I decided to talk to him while I was waiting for you guys. That's dangerous. Did your mother never teach you stranger danger? Ida asked, genuinely appalled. We were in public, though. That changes nothing. Izuku sighed. What were the odds that guy was dangerous? He was probably just some Overwatch player. It was probably fine. That was the end of chapter 41. On to the next chapter. Chapter 42. Shinso accidentally makes local vigilante cry. Emotional. Summary. Izuku is on patrol and Shinso disses him in an attempt to get him to answer. It just makes Izuku cry. Izuku smiled at the influx of texts from Uraraka. It was nearing 11 now. Apparently, Ochako's internship had run a little late. According to her, pro hero and brawler Gunhead himself was a total sweetheart. Who would have thought? She was mostly learning proper techniques and disarming so far. She hadn't texted him since, demanding he be safe and update her later, even though she'd be asleep. He swiped off shortly after giving a thumbs up and heart emoji, checking on his other friends. Shinso was doing something. He hadn't answered Izuku all day. Eraserhead must have been keeping him busy. Hopefully, Izuku wouldn't run into the two of them tonight. He wouldn't need to worry about Mirako since she only patrolled at night on certain days. Yahoo! He needed to stop jinxing himself. The vigilante jumped, springing to the ledge closer to the fire escape. But he waited because, damn it, he needed to ask about the sports festival still. He nodded to the pro, ignoring the head of purple hair behind the man. I've been meaning to talk. Were you really present at the sports festival? Izuku nodded, making an effort to reach into his lower octaves. Yeah, that was me. Why are you talking like that? No reason. Not important right now. What is important is the ice giant. How the hell did some kid manage that? I was looking online and came across this drug called Trigger. I think it would make sense since it increases physical strength, but it also lowers users' ability to think clearly. Of course, I don't know, and it's really just theory, and I have no idea what's happening when I left, so Izuku cut himself off, flushing at the identical looks of contempt. Like father, like son, he supposed. You'd be correct, Eraserhead grumbled. That boy's tongue was black, and traces of Trigger was found in his system. Do you have an identity on him? Cash Sparrow. He and his parents were visiting Japan, but he went missing in Tokyo 2 weeks before the sports festival. Aizawa paused before sighing. Unfortunately, he remembers nothing. From the whole 2 weeks? The last thing he thinks back to is flying to Japan. Izuku stays quiet, eyebrows furrowed in thought. It could very well be a trauma response from the kid. However, due to both the short-term and the drugs involved, it was more likely a memory-altering quirk. Have you brought someone with a memory quirk in? She'll be here in the morning, Aizawa confirmed. For a moment, no one spoke. Okay, bye, I guess. Izuku chuckled. Eraserhead crossed his arms and turned away. Odd, but maybe he didn't want to chase Izuku with an intern? Izuku quickly ducked and climbed down the fire escape, jumping away on the second floor and rolling. As soon as he was up, he had to dodge the scarf again. Shinso's scarf. He looked intensely at Izuku, eyebrows furrowed in concentration. Come on, Yahoo. Aren't you sick of being on the run? You don't make a difference anyways. He spoke out, dodging the punch Izuku managed to throw between the fabric of Shinso's capture scarf. Izuku stayed silent. Thank God he knew about the teen's quirk ahead of time. He turned out the teen's taunt, focusing on dodging. It wasn't too hard. Shinso clearly wasn't experienced with the capture weapon. The captures being off target and far slower than erasers. The underground hero watched from above. A training experience, then. He could handle that. I bet your mom is real proud of you. Shinso snapped, landing a blow to Izuku's leg. Well, scratch that. His vision blurred with tears. He knew Shinso was trying to get a response out of him. But damn, if it didn't hurt. Izuku backed away before running to the opposite direction. He ignored the footsteps coming after him. How the scarf failed to grab onto him. It hurt because Shinso was right. He ran until he couldn't hear anything other than his own breathing, and he was climbing up a fire escape. During his vigilante career, he's grown familiar with the streets around him. What noises were just part of the night and which were signs of crimes. He could cut through back ways and duck between nooks in the wall. The place he visited most on patrol, however, had become the number 3 hero's apartment. Most of the time, it was to hide if Eraserhead or the police were being particularly vigilant. Another time, it was to sit quietly. Izuku looked at the vacant look cast across Hawk's face, but sometimes it meant laughter and free food and companion and warmth. It wouldn't be like that today, not while Izuku was a crying mess. He rapped his knuckles against the window, not letting up until the hero opened the door. Hey there, Oh. Izuku shoved past Hawks and flopped on the couch. He'd apologize later. Hawks remained silent. Usually he'd at least ask why Izuku had just barged in, maybe even complain. Not a sound was made. Sometimes, as a pro hero, it's good to have relations and networks outside of other heroes, Hawks said aloud. Having a vigilante can be pretty handy. They get up close and the nitty-gritty of the streets. Especially Yahoo here. He's smart as a whip and a great informant when it comes down to it. Izuku slowly lifted his head to confirm his suspicion, and yeah, Hawks had taken an intern. I see. The bird guy nodded, giving Izuku a look. He was clearly trying not to stare. The creature behind him had no such qualms. The vigilante sat up and turned to Hawks. Sorry, I had no idea you had an intern. I didn't even think about that. Nah, sweet kid. Don't think Sukuyami minds. But why are you here? You didn't get stabbed, right? No, not this time. Izuku carefully reached a hand under his goggles, wiping a tear from his eyes. But Eraserhead's intern is an asshole. Well, he isn't, but he said some something mean. Oh, gotcha. I gotcha. I'm not door dashing you any food this time, though. That's fine. I just need a break. I'll be on my way in a couple. Alright, well, you know where the med kit is if you need it. I'll be in the kitchen. Izuku purposely ignored the two pairs of eyes trained on him, busying himself with the TV in front of him. It was the news. He wondered if his mom was watching the news too. She always had before Izuku left. There's darkness in your soul. One attempt to claw its way out. The bird guy, Tsukuyami, stated, staring at Izuku with those beady little bird eyes. I guess? I understand how you feel, Yahoo. We all have a pit inside us, itching to take control. However, I'm confident you can fight it. Thanks, Tsukuyami. The hero student nodded, turning back to the TV. The creature still watching him closely, but didn't seem really ready to kill him anymore. Izuku sniffled as more tears leaked out. Hopefully Tsukuyami was right, because Izuku was feeling pretty damn tired. That is the end of chapter 42 of So Keep On Going With Your Silly Dream by Piter on AO3. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this, please go support the original author. Link in the description below.